was a dark and stormy night. The wind howled outside, and the rain beat against the windows. Inside, a group of teenagers were gathered around a table, playing the Charlie Charlie challenge. "Charlie Charlie, are you here?" one of the teenagers asked. The pencils on the table moved in a slow, deliberate motion. "Yes," a voice said. The teenagers gasped. "Who are you?" another teenager asked. "I am Charlie," the voice said. "I am a spirit." The teenagers were silent for a moment, too scared to speak. "What do you want?" one of them finally asked. "I want to play a game," Charlie said. "A game of life and death." The teenagers looked at each other, fear in their eyes. "What kind of game?" one of them asked. "A game of chance," Charlie said. "A game where you can win or lose everything." The teenagers were silent for a moment, considering their options. "What do we have to do?" one of them finally asked. "You must each pick a pencil," Charlie said. "Then, you must ask me a question. If the pencils cross, then my answer is yes. If they don't cross, then my answer is no." The teenagers nodded. They knew that this was a dangerous game, but they were also curious. They wanted to know what Charlie was capable of. "Are you ready?" Charlie asked. The teenagers nodded. "Okay," Charlie said. "Let's begin." The teenagers each picked a pencil and held it above the table. Then, they each asked Charlie a question. The pencils crossed for some of the teenagers, and they were given answers to their questions. But for others, the pencils didn't cross, and they were left with no answers. The teenagers played the game for hours, until they were all exhausted. They were tired, but they were also scared. They didn't know what Charlie was capable of, and they didn't know when he would stop playing. Finally, one of the teenagers said, "I am done." The other teenagers nodded in agreement. They were all done with the game. "Okay," Charlie said. "The game is over." The teenagers stood up and started to leave. But as they were leaving, they heard a noise behind them. They turned around and saw Charlie standing in the doorway. He was smiling, but his eyes were cold. "You can't escape me," Charlie said. "I'll be back." The teenagers ran out of the room, but they could still hear Charlie's laughter echoing in their ears. They never went back to that house again. They were too afraid of what Charlie might do to them. But they never forgot what they had experienced that night. They had played a game with a spirit, and they had almost lost their lives. They knew that Charlie was still out there, somewhere. And they knew that he would be back.